You guys not expect me today or what? AJ says you're up. You're up.
We're not complaining.
No.
So again, had a good practice today. Down in my office earlier this morning, and all the way down to my office, you guys know where that corner is. And all of a sudden, I heard an explosion. Down the hallway. I'm like, what? We had a blue gold meeting in here. And I think the blue is here, the gold is here, but the blue was going nuts. And it was so loud, I heard it in my office. Honest to God, I heard it all the way down there. So that's where I would say the excitement is. When they get to a draft, it's just different. Last year you didn't have that. Coach Bro was over here. I think someone said he banged his head on the trash can. Did you hear it?
I heard he did it. I didn't witness it.
Okay, I didn't witness it either. I wasn't there. If I'd have known it was coming. So, I don't know if he's got concussion or not. We probably go into protocol. He might not be the head coach on Saturday. I'm just kidding.
Any injuries?
No injuries from what I gathered. But he did bang his head, so you guys can ask him post game if they lose. That might have been part of it. They win. Maybe that was the reason why they won. But there was a lot of noise, and it was a little quiet over in the gold squad. So I don't know. But we'll find out. Any questions?
You've looked at the rosters. You think one is favored to win here?
I was going to ask you guys that personally. Again, I really haven't looked at the rosters. I made one change. We moved Lappy over. I just kind of looked and said we had enough guys each and solid guys. I wanted to try to get the best 11 on the field that we can. We moved Lappy over. Did I tweet that out last night? I forget. I don't think I did. But Nick Lappy moved over from the gold to the blue. So there's one roster change that we moved. And Isaiah Neal will play on both teams, part of the trade. It's a late night trade, so that's probably the only difference there. But I was going to ask you guys. You guys asked me a lot of questions. Like, what do you got? Who do you got, Chris?
Gold.
You got the gold. Why?
Touchdown.
Why?
Their offensive line.
Okay.
That O-line looks a little more stout than the other one.
Okay. Well, who do you got?
I'll have to agree with Chris.
So, okay, like that.
I'll say blue then, just because.
Okay, blue. Just go blue.
I'm going blue because I think that they got an interesting group of quarterbacks that they put on that side.
Who's the quarterbacks on that side? I couldn't tell you.
So you got Nate, and then you got Nate and Christian and Julian on that side. And I think that
So you're going blue.
Yeah, I'm going blue.
You didn't get enough snaps.
The one thing I'd say about the blue, I watched 7-on-7 today. Maybe Peak's right. 7-on-7. I think Nate's got the number 2 offensive line pretty much right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a younger group up front, and you got a younger X. I look at the boundary receiver. I see Montero versus Kenny Johnson. Kenny's kind of dangerous. And then the other thing, the observation I would say is, you saw how late the quarterbacks were picked, right? Why was that? You guys, some of you old guys, Jerry knows why. I won't ask Jerry because he already knows the answer. But why were the quarterbacks picked so late? Tell me you guys don't know. Why did they open the quarterbacks up late? Chris Peak, you're a recruiting guy. You guys really don't know?
You tell us. I don't know.
Nobody really knows? We've done this for, what? I guess 9 years. 1 year we didn't do it. So if they feel like, hey, that number 1 and number 2 is even, they want to go find the biggest difference. Wherever there's a drop-off, like, who was the first pick?
Kenny Johnson.
No, overall. Kenny.
Overall, Kenny was the first pick. They opened up that position, the X position, and it's Kenny. And then who was the backup?
Montero.
He's the other guy at X. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of why. There's strategy up here. These guys aren't knuckleheads. They know what's up, and they know, hey, and again, Gavin said after me, he goes, we got every pick we wanted. So, had a pretty good draft process. He said we got every draft pick except we didn't get our quarterback we wanted. But they waited too long. They didn't, they figured it might go longer. So there's all, give and take with that. But that's why. So that tells you, you got 2 good quarterbacks right there, at least the 1 and 2s that were picked. That's what the kids believe. I think that's something to take from it. And you can take that from every position. But to me, it's where that, where the timing of positions that opened up, matters. So.
Wanted to ask you, because the gold team got the 2nd pick at quarterback and they took Eli. What has Eli shown you guys in his first spring with you all as far as adapting to the new team and working with this offense that everyone else is doing?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a good question for maybe the players when they come in here because they made the choice. And, but Eli's he's like this every day. I think you get the same guy every day. He's protected the ball. He's probably got the least turnovers I would say, I think, between him and Nate, I would say those are the two guys that have turned it over, the least. Give you a chance to win, I guess.
Talk about those lack of turnovers with Nate. What's the biggest step he's made this spring?
Nate's a little bit of a gambler. He likes to, he knows when it's practice and he knows when it's game. Okay, he knows when he can take chances and when he can't. And I just looked at him today and passed it. I'm like, dude, you're locked in today. He's like, coach, it's like it's game. There's gonna be fans there. Like sometimes you're going to make a play. Sometimes you pick, hey, I want to throw it to Kenny or I want to throw it here. But like he was like locked in today. I noticed just his throws. I was like, oof. He hit me. He threw a couple dimes out there. He just seemed a little bit different today. But you always like a guy that's a game day guy, right? I mean, I hate those guys. They're great in practice. They go out there in game day, and when the lights turn on and kind of fall apart. So I think we know what he does on game day. But I've been happy with how he's picked up the practice, and he likes to take chances. But he knows when you can take chances in practice and maybe when you can't.
What kind of steps has Christian made this spring?
Christian's done a nice job. I mean, again, totally new offense. He's been in 3 offenses now. He's done a nice job as well. We'll find out Saturday when he gets it in.
Are you going to get enough snaps for all your scholarship quarterbacks?
Yeah, it's hard, but yeah, everybody get snaps for sure.
I assume the quarterbacks won't get live, right? So is Eli the kind of guy though that you're kind of interested to see what he can do when it is live, when he can kind of
not right now.
Not right now, but I mean, are you intrigued to kind
Eli
of see?
hates knee braces. Okay, so I wanted to wear. I told Eli I was going to put him in double knee braces, right and left. He didn't like that too much, but they won't be live, really not interested in seeing in the spring game what Eli's got without knee braces. They can scramble and run, but we're just going to blow the whistle. Not going to get hit. Maybe in the fall we'll get a hit.
Kenny going first overall, is that kind of track with what you've seen from him this spring?
Again, I think it's it's a product of that position and the depth at that position. They just went through it and said, where are the biggest differences? You saw the D tackles were kind of I don't know 8th, 9th, 10th round is because there was a lot of probables on there and like, geez, we don't know where we're going to get there. Let's not go. It's just like the draft. What's the best available at that position? If there's only 2, who's Kenny's had a heck of a spring. Kenny's a football player. He's gotten better as a wide receiver. He's a team guy. He's always got a great attitude. I love the smile on his face every day. That's the best thing. If he wasn't a great player, and he comes in with a smile on his face every day, that's what I love about Kenny. And that's a fact. But he happens to have a smile on his face and be really, really good and just keeps getting better.
You talked about Nate's willingness to take risks. How much of that is his own kind of going on his own script versus what Coach Bell's kind of throwing at him and designing for him?
I think it's more of, what Nate tries to do sometimes, which is, a little gunslinger a little bit, which I like. Coach Bell wants to take that completion and moving the sticks. So, but no, he gets it. He understands. Nate gets it. So,
What are the stakes this year? What are the winners get?
The winners get steak. The losers get, I guess, tofu hot dogs.
Ooh.
The hot dogs here. I mean, with Kevin Glenn and our executive chef next door, you go hot dogs, man. It's like these guys are like, these are awesome. We never get hot dogs, so they want the hot dogs. So you got to make it worse. So
Tofu hot dogs? Seriously?
yeah, I'm serious. Make it bad as we can make it.
I heard that the baked beans are still really good.
Oh, the baked beans are ridiculous, but they are. I mean, it's like I eat both.
Who came up with that decision?
Me. So there was a great article in I don't know, popped up on my phone. Nick Saban, I guess, in Alabama. We do things very similar to them, but they called it beans and weenies or something like that. But it was an article that talked about how I guess some of the players in Alabama said, these are things that are non-negotiable. We want to do and keep the tradition. And one of them was the spring game, eating steak and eating, hot. I guess they still give them hot dogs, but their hot dogs aren't as good as they are here in Pittsburgh. So it's probably a good swap.
And considering all the change, it's a serious question now. Considering
I've never known you to be serious with it.
all the change you
Were you
made.
listening to the radio show last night?
Radio?
Oh, you didn't know about the radio show?
I was working live. What did I
Oh,
miss?
you missed everything. There were some injury reports out. There were some injury reports out there. I thought Jeff was going to text you and let
You
you
had a
know.
lot of injury stuff on the board here.
We'll get the replay.
All right.
Go ahead,
let's
serious
move on.
question.
My question, question is, this is your 10th off-season, that spring. Because of all the change you made in the off-season, is this maybe the most important of your 10 spring as far as building a foundation for the season?
You know, it's a serious question, huh? I would say this. I told the kids last week's scrimmage was a hell of a lot more important than this week's, correct? So what I tell them out there today, I said this scrimmage Saturday is the most important scrimmage of the spring because it's the next one. So, you know, I'm not worried about what happened in the past, you know, changes, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're all important, you know? So, you know, we need to get better as a football team on offense, defense, and special teams. You know, there's development, there's teaching, there's learning every day, and every day is important, every spring's important, and every spring game's important. And again, the most important thing is we come out of there with healthy football team, and again, make sure, again, I'm gonna play their tails off and play hard, and again, it'll be slimmed down game plan as far as what we do, and but I want to make sure they come out healthy is probably the number one thing. I say it every year. That is the number one thing. I want to be able to play hard, play fast, and again, come out of there with our guys and not have anybody that's not going to start August football together.
How have the players adapted to the communication system through the headsets and getting signals that way?
Yeah. Like my fear was when we went to this system, I think I mentioned to you, the defense has been using them all spring. My fear was that the offense would be faster with headsets compared to the defense. And you know, first thing Coach Bell said yesterday or Tuesday after practice, like, "Oh, Coach, this is a disadvantage for the defense. People can go faster. I mean, there's no question about it. That's it's kind of why I voted it down. But but I want it in a way. I just think give one microphone to the offense and give us 3 on defense. 3 to 1. It was just. It's just different that way. So it'll make offenses faster around the country, I think. And that was Coach Bell's first impression was like, man, we can go fast. I think we got 29 plays in inside in 10 minutes the other day. It was pretty fast, and he was just rolling them off, and he can just. I mean, before the play's over, he can already be talking to him to give him the next play. Or I mean, as soon as that ball's down, I guess they'll start to turn it on. And again, practice might be a little easier with the, just a microphone as opposed to when they turn it on.
Couple more before we get to Coach Norvell.
Coach, why is Isaiah Neal playing on both sides of the ball? What can you say about his progression?
Why he's been a little bit banged up during the spring, and we just want to make sure we got enough guys. He might have been a guy that will have 2 different jerseys on. We'll probably have about 4 or 5 guys that'll have another jersey in case we need them. Nigel Maynard will be another guy just to, if something happens on the side, we can get him over there, and we're not looking like a ragtag football team out there with different color jerseys. But we're going to give Isaiah more reps because he didn't have as many as we'd like to this spring. He's a good football player. We want to, it's the last hurrah for him. So, and again, he's a good football player. I mean, the last 2 days he's been good. We try to take care of our guys and make sure we try not to bring them back too early from a little injury. And so we want to get him as many reps as we can. He'll do it on both sides, so you'll see that. And then I think we're going to put Rodney Hammond in a red jersey as well to get him just, he can't get tackled, but at least get him involved a little bit so he's not bored on the sideline.
You mentioned Coach Bernowski being pretty amped up during the Blue Gold meeting. Seems to be a pretty fiery guy. Is that the type of new energy you want to see from the new coaching additions?
I do. I didn't tell him how to act or what to do, but we've had some pretty fiery special teams meetings too. So it's something I've seen and I love.
When you get past this weekend, kind of what happens next? I think you're still somewhere in the 90s for scholarship guys. So I assume you're still going to have to get down to 85. I don't know if there's any rules changing there, but what's this going to look like? You get past this, the kids get done with finals. What's sort of the next step?
Yeah, we'll find out. I don't, you don't know what's on the horizon with college football, but I don't know if we're 5 over, but we're certainly a couple over, and we'll see how it goes. I know this. The portal I think is harder, in the spring. I think some of the guys that are in the portal maybe I think there's better players in the portal in December, January than there are at this time of year. Last year we couldn't find anybody we liked, so we chose to get them on the front end and not sit there on the back end and be waiting for a good one to go in that we don't that we want. And so that's kind of the way we looked at it. But we'll see how it all shakes out, and we'll be okay one way or another.